We have an amazing lineup today. I am very excited for over 24 guests that are going to be with you today. And I just want to remind you, this was originally your idea, sir. So be careful what you wish for.
Right.
It's actually one of my favorite days of the year because part of my key role with the FSHD Society is helping us just, communicate with and build up the community and get the messages out to the folks and help them know who we are and what we're all about. And this day is like all that, in a little pressure cooker. We just get it all done in one day. I just love it. I love all the people that join us. We have people from around the globe joining us today. We're not all US. So we've got a couple different time zones, a couple different countries. We got scientists and volunteers and just really awesome members of our community from all sort of walks of life. It's going to be an amazing day.
Like 24 guests. Yeah. Scientists, actors, musicians, people from the FSHD Society, chapter directors. We're hearing from a lot of different people, from a lot of different perspectives of what this day means to them. The Giving Tuesday event. We know that there's a lot of charities to choose from. And if you happen to choose ours, we're so grateful. I mean, that's just number one. The generosity always blows my mind. Of what people can give, their capabilities of giving as much as possible. And it should be known, right, Lee? I mean, we have a match today. So if
we have a very large match today,
you give $1, it's $2. So
up to $150,000. So if we hit our 150,000, that's 300,000 in total that we'll raise in one day, which is pretty phenomenal and amazing. And a lot of what you're going to hear from our various guests today is a lot of the different things that we have going on. 30 years ago, when the Perez family started this organization, we stand on the shoulders of giants here. When they started this organization, it was pretty much a direct research funding organization, which has put us on the path we are today with, now over 20 companies actively investigating therapies for FSHD, but we're so much more now. We're more because we started to build a community that needs more, and we wanted to meet the needs. So we do gathering place groups and support groups all across the country in a bunch of different, we meet different needs from exercise to the younger generation to women only, care partners. We're going to hear about some of that today. We do all of our education programs because we believe knowledge is power. And so the more we can build up and provide great education for patients and families everywhere, the better. We know the cure could come from anywhere. So we're not just US, we support and provide resources for folks all across the globe through the World Alliance because, so there's just so much more that is happening and made possible because of our amazing founders that got us here. But widely varied work that we do trying to meet all the needs of people until treatments and a cure have been found. And we're going to hear from a whole bunch of people today. Starting with Mr. Mark Stone,
always
incomparable Mark Stone, who is our CEO, and he is in the waiting room. So I'm going to bring him in and let you guys chat, and then I'll start working on queuing up the rest of the day.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Lee.
The captain wouldn't be Radiothon kickoff without Mark Stone.
That's right. I'm just the holder. This guy's kicking it off. I'm just
exactly right.
Are you guys nestled in, ready to go?
Yes.
We're ready. Look, we're geared up. We got our coffee.
Ups,
we're like, I got a pitcher of water. I got a bowl of grapes. Like we are ready to go.
That's awesome. This is exciting. This is exciting. Matter of fact, the staff have canceled all their meetings today just so that we can listen in.
You're welcome.
I'm going to let you guys chat. I'm going to queue up some of our next guests.
Right. You bet. Hey, Tim, thank you. First off, thank you.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, you are our Jerry Lewis.
People have said that, and I was thinking about getting one of those tuxedo shirts,
Yeah.
But then when it gets later, and then the bow tie gets looser, and then it's dripping, and he's sweating. I'm like, that's not going to be me. So that's not going to work. You got to be yourself. Yeah.
Oh no, this is great. We're excited. We're really excited. Anytime the community can get together around a rallying point, as you know, we all know, some better than others, that sometimes you can feel isolated.
Absolutely.
With this, and yet through this miracle of modern media, if you will, we can come together with experts. As a matter of fact, I was looking over the lineup today. This is amazing. The guy next to me, Neil Camarda, arguably one of the most impactful individuals in the world in accelerating therapeutic development and getting drugs on the market. He's got a heart as big as the world, and yet, he really wants to push through and make sure that there is no encumbrance in getting an approved therapy to families globally. So not just looking after himself and him and his, but amazing guy. And then you've got Catherine Wagner. Before she, and in the business we say go over to the dark side. Really, she's the kind of the chief muscle individual and that might be a wrong statement, but she's really influential in Roche, one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world. They have launched now, or will very soon, a small clinical trial in FSHD. But arguably, when she was a clinician, she was one of the most prolific clinicians for FSHD in the world. I know her family's just loved her. They're at Kennedy Krieger. And to have her on, and then, Avidity and Fulcrum, obviously they're both in trials, or going to be launching trials. Max Adler. But then when you can have a sense of celebrity, Dr. Statlin and, Scott Harper, Dr. Harper, and some of these individuals. But I really felt a huge impact in my heart when I saw Kristen or Allie Rowitz or Frank, Jack Gerblick, Ashley Bryant. It just, and you are included in that. You guys are the heroes, man.
Well,
you really are.
Those are definitely the guests. I mean, not taking away from the science of it all and the pharmaceuticals, because they're in our corner and they're helping and they're invested and they're in it, and appreciate that 100%. And then you have the other side, like you mentioned, where we're putting our hearts on our sleeve here, and we're kind of, borderline begging, pleading, help, share this message, get people to know more about it. Kind of sick and tired of living with this. And then, early onset, chapter group, really want to bring them to the top here and make sure that's a constant conversation, that you cannot forget the kids. Don't mess with the kids.
No.
It's like, to me, I'm really glad that they're going to be on today to represent that group yet again. They've been on this podcast, and they've done a great job getting the word out. There is a young people that get affected by this. We just don't want to forget how impactful that means, that change coming would mean to them.
It is heartrending. And as a matter of fact, as we've mentioned in all of the pre-press that we've put out there, we have a $150,000 match. Interestingly, if we get $150,000 in today and it gets matched, it actually would fund a very robust 2-year project in early onset.
Really?
And right now, to be dead level honest, we do not have the dollars to do that, but we're scrambling around. We haven't said, no, we don't have the dollars, so we're not going to fund you. We're really working hard. There's a couple of pharmaceuticals that might be interested in helping fund that, and some of those kinds of things. But truly, if we get $150,000 today, it could be matched, and it would equal the $300,000 approximately that proposal would be.
that is impactful. That's motivation right there. I mean, let's go. Let's just do it right now in the first hour. Let's go celebrate it the rest of the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Why can't that happen? I mean, because I know that people wonder, right, Mark? Okay, I give. Where does it go? Is it really making an impact? Is this really going in the right directions that we want? And I've mentioned it in past episodes about the FSHD Society. It's been brought to my attention by people within the nonprofit world that are not necessarily an FSHD group that have noticed the accreditations that FSHD Society has and how important and difficult that is to get those accreditations. Your money is going in the right direction. It is being funneled for, and I'm glad Mark brought it up. There's one of those things that this will be a direct impact on someone's life. I mean, how can you say that?
Absolutely. Well, I was talking with some of our soon-to-be, I think, new chapter members yesterday, and they were asking, have you just become a big machine? And I said, we will never be a machine because we are family. We operate by business practices and principles, but because of that familial tone to our organization, we are an organism. And we've had to be big enough to meet the challenge, because you can't meet a world-sized challenge if you're not a world-sized capable. And
right.
So we've launched that. But really, it's really turning every obstacle into an opportunity, and we learn that from our families. I have learned more about living life in a positive way from our families, being here for 5 years plus, than I've learned in my whole lifetime of living. In turning obstacles into opportunities, in ensuring that our dream for an FSHD-free generation is actually attainable. And the drive and the push, regardless of obstacle, to get over that. Again, it's courageous. I think I put in a recent letter that I sent out that said, all you need is a plan, a roadmap, and the courage to press on toward your destination. And I think that both the dollars and the courageous attitude of our families that have been the fuel, and this isn't gasoline in a car, this is jet fuel in a rocket, that they have continued to supply, that's gotten us further faster. And it's I'm humbled, and I'm humbled to be associated with this organization. But you're right, that particular thing, these dollars go spot on to moving things forward. We want to launch this year, if we can, not just a $300,000 early onset project, but we want to launch almost a therapeutic accelerator process in early onset and pediatrics. They're a little bit different. So because as therapies come to the market, we don't want our children to wait an unusual amount of time before they then have access to the same therapies that can stop the disease. Right. We know our pharmaceuticals will ultimately want that. Some of our pharmaceuticals actually would do better and desire to have that early onset trajectory kind of mapped out so they could actually go into clinical trials sooner because their drugs actually work better. And again, acknowledging that and knowing that that's where we are in the life cycle of drug development. We want to launch a robust early onset initiative that involves the MOVE study and the MOVE Plus study through our clinical trial research network. It also, involves this large proposal that has been weighed in with a lot of pediatric neurologists and help build up and all that. And another thing, as I was mentioning yesterday to someone, and when they were talking about the machine, we actually, and you talked about all the accreditations, and we work hard to make sure that we steward well resources. But 83 cents of every dollar goes to programs of biomedical research and patient engagement, patient activities, in other words, programming. We have about 6% admin and about 11% fundraising development. So it's 5-star on any kind of board. But I'm most proud of the organization and our people and our families on how we've leveraged. Just a couple of things I'll mention. One is just out of sight, but the Clinical Trial Research Network. We launched it in 2016. We added sites to it, so we've invested about $1 million of our donor dollars in standing it up. It's gone from 4 sites when we launched to now 22 sites, both throughout North America and Europe. That's wonderful. But the extra dollars that have come in there from the NIH, from MDA, from FSHD Canada, which Neil Camardo will be on right after I'm done talking, which will be soon. And all of those dollars add up to $10 million. So we've got a 10-to-1 leverage ratio right there.
Wow.
And that's not counting the pharmaceutical dollars that have gone in there for clinical trials from Acceleron, clinical trial phase 2 from Fulcrum, clinical trial phase 3 from Fulcrum, because all of these sites are being used by the companies to launch these clinical trials too. That's tens of millions of dollars. So the leverage factor is remarkable. It's remarkable. So good investment. The society is, and yet really, who cares if we can't bring a therapy across the line and get it to our families? That's the primary goal.
And is that goal, you feel like, I'm always going to challenge you on this one, Mark, it's like the 2025, right? You feel like the pace is doing well.
I do. And, it's remarkable what our community has been able to do and to provide for us through the COVID processes. I did kind of a 36 months to make a difference in retrospect. So I look back 36 months, 8 companies. Now we have 20 plus companies. We invested 3 years previous about $6 million in biomedical research and patient engagement. Over the past 3 years, we've invested $11 million. All of that is remarkable when you consider that over those 36 months, about 18 months of them, we were in some form of COVID protocol.
Right.
And so we were held up, and yet it's remarkable. I only mention that to say we've got 36 months to 2025, to the end of 2025. It was aspirational, yet I believed attainable back 4 years ago when we made the statement.
Yeah.
And it was bold, and I got criticized for it. Now I would drop the aspirational. It's just attainable.
Yeah, just attainable.
Lots of potholes lots of things could go sideways, but I do believe that it's attainable if we really put our shoulder into it and move that last piece or two of the pipeline forward, like we know how to do it. There's been others that have gone before us to do it, and we're playing off of their playbook.
Yeah.
And so we're following that same successful path, and we believe that as we work together, we'll get there.
Beautiful. Well, thanks, Mark, for empowering us, getting us started again on this Giving Tuesday Radiothon event. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll let you get back to it. I know
I'll be tuning in all day.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Tim.